Welcome back to Judith Plains, Montana. I'm BP, and this is the 555 Challenge. Well, guys, as you saw, we just wrapped up the corn harvest on our new cornfield. Went very well. I was very pleased with the yield we got off the field, how the machinery worked on it, rounding out some corners, making that field a little easier to use. We are coming back to the farm with a full 73,000 liters of corn in the hopper. And I think we had about 2,000 and change left over in the grain cart. So 75,000 additional liters of corn to add to our whiskey production. So, first order of business today is going to be getting this back to the farm, figuring out how much we have, and I have to remember what the whiskey recipe is. I think it's half or 1 dried corn to 2 regular corn. So I got to look that up real quick and then get the corn dryer filled up and get that going so we can get the whiskey production started here in November. As you guys can see, we are once again back in the negative after our loan payment, just over $9,000. Got some stuff to get rid of to help cover that as well. We'll get to that once we get the corn figured out. Got to get some straw into the barns for the cows and the water buffalo, and we'll see what else we get up to today. So 73,000 liters of corn in the trailer, and we have 139,826, let's say 140. So we have just under let's call it 212,000 liters of corn. So that's quite a bit of corn, guys. Jump up here. Let's lease the Jack Daniels facility. Yes, we sure do. All right, and the recipe is 6 dry corn to 12 regular corn. So it is a 1-to-2 ratio. So at 210, we need to put 70,000 into the corn dryer ballpark. I know it turns out to be a little bit less once we're in the corn dryer. I think the corn dryer reduces the total yield just a little bit. So let's start with getting the corn into the corn dryer. And let's jump down here and see corn dryer. Yeah, 500 to 425 with 50 propane. So we're going to need to put a little bit more corn in here long term just to keep that going. But we'll figure that out once we get there. So that is all set and done. I'm going to leave this truck, let's get it turned around over here and grab a spot over here in the grass out of the way. I think we'll be running corn to the whiskey production here at some point this morning. So, first order of business, I think, is to keep going on the corn field. Well, I guess we can't until we get everything sold, can we? We can't hire a worker unless we have some cash flow. So let's go ahead and get some money in the bank. So as you guys can see, I have wool, I have goat's milk, and I have eggs. It is the best time to sell the eggs, so we're going to go pick up the other 2 pallets of eggs over here. We're going to top off the spinnery with the wool, and we're going to drop off the goat's milk at the dairy and either make some goat cheese or butter or something. We'll figure all that out as we go. So here we are. Perfect. You know what, since we're selling them today, let's go ahead and put the partial pallet on the trailer as well. Gotta find a spot, maybe tuck it up over here a little bit. All right. So, first order of business, I think, is going to be... let's check and see where we're going to sell the eggs. I did collect the wool overnight. So I picked it all up on the trailer last night, and then overnight when I slept, we got, I think, half a pallet of wool or something. So I think we've officially entered the cold months, and our wool production will be going down. So we'll get this wool down to the spinnery, and when that runs out, we will stop the lease there. So let's make a quick plan here. Dairy's going to be up top. Where are we selling eggs today, guys? Moccasin General Store. So let's see. Let's go ahead and tag the Moccasin General Store. We'll head up there. Does the dairy take eggs? Could I swing through there and drop it off without it pulling the eggs off the trailer? Buffalo milk, soybean sugar, water. Oh, I sure can. So I can go by the dairy first, drop off the goat's milk, and then go ahead and sell the eggs around the corner. Here comes the rain. We were rushing to get that harvest in this morning before the rain hit. So glad we got all that done. We'll get this stuff sold, and then we'll get the baler over there to get corn stalk bales. And like I said, we got to get the cows. Got to get them some bedding, both the cows and the water buffalo. I've also noticed we've been sort of passively taking care of our livestock, and we have a lot of male animals. I went through the chicken coop yesterday, and I think I sold like 100 roosters. Made about $6,000, but sold 100 roosters because we just don't need that many. They're not producing eggs. Quite frankly, a lot of them were low quality as well and just not helping us produce anything else. So we probably need to go through our sheep, our goat, our cow, and our water buffalo pens and just check and see how many male animals we have. We only need a handful of each for reproduction. They don't produce goat's milk, they don't produce milk or buffalo milk or even wool, I don't believe. So having a whole bunch of males is just, one, eating up our capacity in our pens, two, eating up all of our food, and three, this is costing us money. We just don't need that many. So we're going to go ahead and try to get those cleaned up a little bit. So there's the Moccasin General Store, where we're going to store the eggs. Let's swing down in here and grab the dairy. It shouldn't take anything else. It may cause us to lose a couple of items on the trailer, so we'll just have to see what happens here. Alright, so let's pop the straps. Yep, okay, and let's put the straps back on. Excellent. So, will the Moccasin General Store take wool? Because if they will, we'll end up selling the wool, and we don't want to do that. We definitely want the wool being turned into clothes. We can always do a partial unload on the trailer to figure that out. So let's see. Let's come in here, do a quick check on the wool. So view at all stations. I don't think it's gonna take the wool. I don't. You know, it'd be disappointing if it did. Maybe we should just unload, huh? Okay, so let's just do this a smart way. Let's not push it. All right, so we want to load. Let's see. This is always a tricky part. Material type. Wool. No, we want just the eggs. And I may not have empty or partial pallets on. We may have to go grab this guy and just pop him on the back somewhere. All right, so I think this is going to be like $27,000 worth of eggs. Enough to get us out of debt. 27,727 and a stop sign for good measure, so we got that knocked out as well. All right, so here we go. Let's grab the wool, And then the full pallets only, what is the, let's see, container type. I just saw it. O is the command. There we go. We got partial as well. All right. I guess we probably should check the bakery while we're here and just make sure that it isn't full. It's not. It's only halfway full of bread, which is fine. Head back this way, loop back through town, run the wool down to the spinnery. Oh, sorry, bud. So I will check in with you guys down at the spinnery when we drop this off, and I'll see you guys in a second. We are just about to the spinnery. I did stop by the yard on the way down and grabbed the Magnum, hooked it up to our baler, and put it on the cornfield to get us ahead of the game for the next steps on that field. Oh, crash counter. There we go. Not sure why all the pallets rotate when I release them down here. It's a funny little thing that happens at the spinnery. Notice all those pallets rotate 45 degrees. It's just a funny little thing I noticed. So, alright, so got that going. It is also worth mentioning, I did get our original cornfield. I got it mulched, I got it plowed, stone picked, and limed last night before the end of the month. So it is prepped and ready to go when the time comes. So that is one step closer to giving us corn for next year. Real quick before we head back up there, I think we talked about the fact that canola oil was good this month. So it is. We have about $13,000 at the Subway store. So I think it's worth, while we're here, just swinging through and picking up the oil and getting it sold. Subway store is right here. Okay, so it's on our way back. So this will be a short pickup. Grab the canola oil and get through. I'm hoping this rain passes. Not too bad because we're done with the harvest, but you know, rain does help the crops, but this more makes driving around a little bit less pleasant. So let's see what we can get into over here. All right. Can we get the canola oil out this way? Doesn't look like it. So, productions, oil plant, canola. Get that a quick storing. Gotta get a little bit closer than we were. That sure doesn't look like 12,000 liters. Or whatever it was we were supposed to get. That's 5. That up there. And it says it's out of canola oil, so do we have some hidden somewhere? I thought it said we had like 13,000 liters. Canola oil, we have 6,800 liters, which is weird because it doesn't feel like it should. Yeah, must have just double counted something. Oh well. We got some canola oil to sell. Doesn't matter if it's 1 pallet or 6. We'll get it sold, make a little bit of money, keep going. What I'm excited for, next month in December, we have the bread comes up for sale, and we have an absolute boatload of bread to sell. So we will, I think that's going to be either buy another big implement, which I don't think we need, or that's going to be, you know, purchasing another field, which obviously we do need. So. All right, just under 12,000 for the oil. Not bad, just enough to keep us going. 30 grand in the bank. Won't quite cover the payment for next month, but that's all right. We'll get there. Let's head back up to the farm. I did last night after we wrapped up. I did, when we got to the cornfield, decide that I was done with the 5-meter mulcher. It served us well. It did just fine, but the fields are getting bigger. We're at 81 acres of arable land. So we're going to keep going. I think our next field's hopefully going to get us up to about 100 acres. of arable land. So I did purchase, I believe it was the Horsch 12-meter mulcher. So I'm excited to get that out on the field, on the new cornfield, show that off to you guys a little bit. A nice addition to the farm, just increased our working width. Right now, our working width on most of our implements is pretty good. Realistically, the only one that's suffering right now is the stone picker. I think the stone picker is like 3 meters. But that's just, you know, that's base game capacity and working width, so that's what we're going to have until we get the loan paid off, and we are just surpassed $1 million paid off, so we should be just under $4 million on the loan, so we are not close to getting out of base game capacities and base game working width. But overall, we are getting some nice size equipment that makes working our fields effective and efficient, which is really nice. So heading back here, let's grab, I think we're going to need to head over with, and all these street signs, not a chance I'm snaking through there. I think we need to head over there with the Volvo and get the bales off the field, and then we can come back and get the mulcher and head over there. So let's leave the tipper here. I am going to end up running some corn over to the whiskey factory later on today. Grab our tilt deck trailer here. All set and good to go. Jump inside so we're not fighting all the trees with the camera. Alrighty. We are off and cooking with gas. We'll head over, we'll get the bales picked up, we'll get the versatile connected up to the mulcher, get that over there, and then from there I think we need to get the cows taken care of and then figure out the bedding situation for the animals. Now I did get the tractor started, but there's a distinct lack of bales on the field. I think I see it down there in the corner. We may have some tree work in the near future. If the baler can't make it around the corner, it'd be a bummer if it was supposed to be working for the last 5 or 10 minutes and wasn't, but it's alright, we'll get it figured out. Can always switch gears a little bit, not a problem. Okay, so yeah, we just made it around the first corner and got ourselves stuck on a tree. So, that is ineffective in getting the corn stalk bales off the field. So let's see what we get going here. How about this tree? Well, made it past it. We will continue on. I think the problem is the corn header is a bit narrow. I think it's probably narrower than our windrower for the baler, so it's just overhanging the edge of the field, which is why it's getting caught on everything. So let's see. That tree we made it past. 2 more. I think it's just this one, but this one does not look promising. Let's see. Okay, well, you know, I'm going to assume that that is going to be okay. We'll come back and get the bales in a little bit. So for right now, let's grab the Versatile and the Pro baler. And look at our soybeans there coming in nicely. Let's take a look at this field. 100% fertilized, 97% yield bonus. We are at growth stage 5 of 7. That is nice. 10.8 acres on this field, and then we cross over and we get 11.76. So we're just just about 25 acres, with including the area we plowed together. Probably 24, 23 and a half, somewhere in there. But excited to have a cash crop on the farm. So, the Versatile with the Pro Baler. We'll go grab some bales. See if I can remember how to use it. And get the cattle all situated with their straw, because they are running low. So, jumping on in. You can tell we limed with this tractor last night. It is a mess. Connect it up. And head on down to the shed. So let's just pull it over here for right now. Just see what we get. So we don't want straw, we want corn stalks, 9,000. 25 seems excessive. Let's try 12. Let's just see what 12 does. I don't remember how to use this thing at all. Start auto load is B. So, if I pull up to a nice stack here. Okay. Hey, that worked out well. Not going to complain about that. We'll figure out how to get them off. But we'll get there. Alright, so coming on in here. There's that invisible collision at the doors on this barn. Yep. Let's just get squared up. We'll just come at it straight on. We won't play any games with the angle. Coming straight on, it doesn't seem to be much of a problem. Okay, so maybe we should try having 4 bales. I don't know. Okay. Okay, how do we drop these bales? Unload bales. Why? Hey, look at us. Man, okay. Jump out and see how much more we need. Straw, there's 62 out of 100, so we can put several more bales in. Alright, let's see if I can remember how to do all this without the menu. You guys seem to like when I do stuff in cab, so let's give it a whirl and see if we can't get all this done in cab. So, swinging around through the yard. Get squared up to this pile here. Okay, now the question is, does it take 4 bales? Thinking no. Oh, it does. Ah, look at us. We have 4 bales. Nice. Can't see anything? This is a bit of a hazardous way to drive. Maybe we get them up out of the way. There we go. Can see a little better. A little further in. Bales are definitely going to have to come down now. Okay. I don't know, guys. Getting pretty good at this. We'll grab another set of bales. So 4 of those would be 36,000. So that barn's probably pretty full. So maybe we run these over to the buffalo barn. We'll check the menu here in just a second. Alright, we got 2. I think we were low enough to get that last one. Ah, we have 4 now. There we go. Okay. Run these over. Haven't had quite as many problems with this door as the other cattle barn. Oh, this one might be full. Is this one full? Didn't think it was. No, they only have 73,000 straw. I don't know why those bales aren't doing anything. Maybe they need to be moved a little bit. Should we push them around? There we go. 94,000, so we're probably not going to get much out of these. All right, they're at 100. We got all the bales. We got all the bales. You know what? I think actually we'll just leave these in here. They can have them. They'll get pulled in as needed. That way we won't have to worry about filling up the straw on the buffalo barn. And I think we run that last. I think we just grab 3 more corn stalk bales out of the shed. We should have 1 out here and just put a full load into the cow barn and keep them topped up. So straw, corn stalks. Okay, well there's 1 odd size corn stalk, so we'll take that one. And then we want 2 of these. Okay. Let's try a little bit of a running loading start from the side. I'm not sure how legit this is because we should be approaching from the other side, but okay, got all 4. Look at that. That's not a bad way to load them. All right, can we get these in here? Not too terribly square to the door, but we'll make it work. Alright, we'll drop these all the way down here on the end. Yeah, I like that Pro Bale. That is handy. That works really, really well. So, we'll get the Pro Bale dropped off. We will grab the new 12-meter mulcher, head over to the new cornfield, with the assumption that the baling has gone fairly well, and most of it is done, or at least a big portion of it is done. And then we can get the mulcher going. So there is the new mulcher right here on the end. It is a Horsch, I was right. So heading out and over. Oh, I forgot I parked the trailer there, guys. That is the second crash of the day. Wild driving, watch out. There is the new Horsch Mulcher. Nice 12-meter working with. Requires, I think, 270 horsepower, which is great. The Versatile is 272. So we got plenty of horsepower. Not a particularly heavy implement or deep digging, so not a big deal. Definitely makes the mulching process go much, much faster. And this, what's going on with the hay baling today? Okay, we got some over there. And the baler's just sitting at the top of the hill over there. Why is it sitting? Oh, it wants to back up, and I parked the truck in the way, I bet. Bet that one's on me, guys. We'll have to go over there and get things organized. Probably should have put some fuel into the Versatile before we left. Did not look at that. May have to run the Super Duty over here just to top it off. Make sure we don't get ourselves in trouble. We could do that on the way to the animal dealer, since we'll be selling some male animals here as well. And that's the other thing we can do while we wait for the baling to get done. Not sure why we can't successfully get the baling done today. Seems like it's just not meant to be, but it's all right. We'll figure it out. Go ahead and turn the Versatile off there. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and grab some bales while we're here. I assume that's going to, yeah, so it just stuck because the truck was in the way. All right, let's run down here, grab some bales off the end of the road just so we don't have those blocking or getting tangled up. We don't want the tractor or the baler getting high centered since we've had 2 false starts already. Got some chickens over there in the middle of that field. There's chickens in every field around here in Judith Plains. We are run by chickens. Alright, so got those picked up. Maybe one more set down here. Did we drop another set? Maybe we didn't. Looks like maybe no. Okay, that's alright too. There'll be plenty. I think we have too many cornstalk bales to begin with anyways. More than we'll ever end up using for the animals. So it's not a big deal. We'll end up selling some here regardless. So let's make sure this guy's parked up and out of the way. Excellent. So now hopefully the tractor is running around doing its own thing. I just want to check one thing. There we go. Make sure we're working at full speed there. Alright, back to the farm. A lot of going back and forth today, hoping that the corn stalks get picked up, and haven't had a lot of luck doing it. So, here we are. I haven't had the truck without the trailer on it in quite some time. We haven't been buying animals recently, so the animal trailer's been parked, but today we are going to change that. We're going to grab the animal trailer, head over to the cow barn, and see what we want to do about selling some male animals. Just not driving this very well, huh? There we go. At least got the trigger that time. Alrighty, let's get situated here. There's a nice looking animal trailer, I'll say that. Very pleased with it so far. Alright, so animals. This is what we have. We have 160 out of 500. We have all these brown Swiss and then bulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27 brown Swiss bulls. And I have to imagine, oh, not that many Holstein. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we have some Angus bulls, Limousin bulls, Herefords, and Hereford bulls. So it's really the brown Swiss are the biggest culprit as far as having a bunch of animals. So it's hard to tell because you want to look at the quality of the animal and select the animals that are not very good to sell. At least we should start with that criteria. And like this one, yeah, this is going to be tough because, wow, our breeding stock is actually quite good. Okay. So we don't have any animals that are really, truly not good. Okay, so question is, how many animals can we put into the trailer? There's 4, 5. Move selected. If I come over here, 5 of 9. So it's going to take a couple of trips to get these male animals out of here. I think we're just going to start at the bottom because we can have bulls in there for a year or 2 before it becomes a problem. Because you remember with the realistic livestock mod, we can't have animals breeding with their offspring. So we have to be a little bit careful when it comes to that as far as rotating the bulls we need to make sure that by the time, you know, if a bull has a calf with a cow, by the time that calf is able to reproduce, we probably should be cycling bulls in the pen anyways, just to keep the livestock prices, or I'm sorry, the livestock quality good and the breeding pool fresh. So we're going to run 9 of these guys up to the animal dealer now. I'm going to meet you guys up there, but before I let you go, we're going to drive by the cornfield again. There it is. Look, there we got the tractor running. Look at that. It's picking up corn stalks and making bales just like we want it to. So we confirmed that is still working. So I will see you guys up at the dealership in just a second. See you soon. We made it up to the animal dealer. Swing it in here. Go ahead and get these guys sold. I wonder if we should check and see if the focus on one thing at a time. Select all, sell selected. $4,300. Not bad. We'll take it. I wonder if we should check the sale and see if there is a big cattle trailer in the sale. I can't imagine we'd be that lucky. Haven't bought anything in several months, which is good. We don't need to be buying things all the time. That's how we stay broke. No cattle trailers here. We get a fun little sports car. I do like the skid steers. Something that maybe we'll pick up at a later date. Right now, I think we're in good shape. Here's a nice international truck here. Could get a swap on that. $45,000. How much is our Volvo worth? I really like our Volvo. Volvo's worth $81,000. I think maybe we just keep the Volvo. So, all right, another quad track, $273,000. I mean, it's a great deal, but we don't have anywhere near that much money. So, yeah. All right, so no animal trailer in, or transport trailer in the sale. Not a big deal. I'm going to head back to the farm, probably grab another set of calves out of that brown Swiss group and bring them back up here, and I'll probably just meet you guys back at the farm when we go to take a look at the goats and sheep. So I will see you guys after I've made another trip or two up to the animal dealer. We are pulling out of the sheep barn, guys. We have 14 rams taken up to sell. Be our last group. I sold 197 male animals out of the sheep and goat pen. It was a lot of work. So, went through, sorted them all, found the best quality, tried to leave a couple of older male animals, ones of breeding age, and then leave a couple of young ones to grow up and intermix and replace them. But we have just an insane number of male animals on the farm right now. It was shocking to me. Almost 200 goats and sheep out of the 500 we had. That pen was at max capacity, and it was 40% male animals, not producing any milk, not producing any wool, just absolutely taking up space. I did not get to go through the water buffalo. I'll have to do that off camera, but wanted to get back and get this wrapped up so we can get the mulcher going. Looks like maybe we ran into one tree down here. Was trying to keep an eye on it as I was doing the sell-off, but must have missed that guy getting stuck on something. We'll run down there and see where he's stuck and how much he has left to do. It looks like he might be done. And quite frankly, we don't need to get every last little bit of corn stalk off the field. We have so much to begin with. I feel like we are missing one bale. Where did those two get dragged from? No, I think he's just done. That's it. He's just finished right there. But there were 2 loose ones, and they should be dropping them in groups of 3. So it sure seems like There should be another bale around here somewhere. Maybe it fell down the hill. Maybe I picked it up and didn't see it. Who knows? We'll have to see. Either way, we'll get the, I guess there's a little strip there, but we'll be fine without that. Let's get these off of the baler, and let's get the mulcher on the field before we go run up the rest of the sheep. So, get everything all pushed off here. Get the baler folded up. See if we can get around this tree. Oh, there it is. I think it was underneath. There was one more. We did find it. Nice. Okay, so get the baler and the case well out of the way up here. We'll get everything cleaned up later, but for now, just trying to get these things off the field so we can get the mulching started for you, so you can see the new mulcher. So grab a bale here, grab a bale here. Excellent. Okay, get the Volvo off of the field. As you can see, we have $100,000, guys. That was a lot of selling of animals. It was just, like I said, just incredible how many male animals we have. It seems like more than 50%, even though we know that's not the case. Just absolutely crazy how many we had on the farm. So that'll make us way more efficient getting through the winter as far as food, and as we continue to grow our herd, it'll make us way more efficient in producing milk and wool and eggs for the chickens, so we can have better outcomes. So here is the new mulcher. Nice 12-meter working width. Gets a lot of field done quickly. Run in here. I think we want to run 2 headlands just to make sure. Yeah, that'll work. Let's go ahead and get him started. Mulching. Let's save this course. Field 64. Well, that's a interesting way to not get that whole corner, but, you know, okay. To each his own. Alright, so the mulcher is in full swing, working well, looks good. We're going to need to plow after we mulch. That is to be expected with corn. We'll get the quad track over here and get the big SM72 plow in the field and get that taken care of, which will inevitably result in, there's all of our rams, result in a bunch of rocks. So we'll get the rocks picked up and then we'll get it limed, because I'm sure we'll need that after being plowed. So to wrap up this episode, we're going to go up here and sell this last group of sheep, last group of rams, get them done. Excited to have more space in the barns. I wish I'd caught on to it a little bit earlier so we weren't spending all that time and energy feeding all of these male animals, because certainly they are responsible for a big portion of the food being eaten, like 40% in the case of the goat and sheep barn. So nice to have that done going into winter. Glad we got the corn done. I will get the corn and the dried corn and the barley added to the whiskey factory before we head out of November. I'll get that work done off camera and get the whiskey production up and running. I think that's best sometime in the spring, so we want to get it rocking and rolling so we have a good amount of product to sell when the time is right. Can we get that trigger? Seems like maybe not. Maybe pulled a little too far forward. Let's see. There we go. We're going to select all and sell all. Another 4,200 bucks. So guys, making money on our male animals. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos. Channel memberships are available if you'd like to support my content further. and members do get early access to upcoming videos. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next one.